That literally, what song did that sound like? Jump on it, that's what that song
Wait,
was.
what song?
I think it's called Jump on It, right?
You got to give me more of that. I need more than 3 words.
On it, let's do let's do it,
Oh,
ride it.
oh, you think it sounds like Pony? Oh my god. Yo,
I thought it did.
a lullaby version of Pony is crazy. That's
Dude.
insane.
There is definitely, if this isn't a thing, I know there's what is it, lo-fi beats of like popular
Oh yeah, of
songs,
course. Yeah, Lo-Fi Girl is huge popular. I listen to it when I study sometimes.
but I think you and I might have just tapped into a potential market. Children's songs that are remakes of like popular songs for the parents. Like, do like, I don't know, Low from Lil Jon and what T-Pain. Is it T-Pain's on that song, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, Low?
No,
No, Low is Lil Jon, the
Flow
Yin Yang Twins.
Flow Rider, right?
Oh,
No?
we're thinking. Oh, my bad. I'm thinking of Get Low. You're thinking of Low by
Low,
Flow
yeah.
Rida and T-Pain.
Yeah,
T-Pain
apple
is on that
bottom
song.
jeans,
Yes,
boots
T-Pain
with
is
the
on that song for sure. Confirmed.
Either way, could you imagine that though? Like your kids just listen to like a nice little like, I don't know, clarinet version of Low.
I mean, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I mean, Kids Bop goes on tour at this
Yeah.
point, and I mean, now granted, that's ridiculous. Obviously, the instrumental versions would certainly be different. I mean, you could have some crazy, piano instrument. I mean, imagine like I would love if my kid eventually knows because Amber legit plays piano, my fiance. I would love if my kid learns the piano line from Still DRE one day. Are you kidding me? That'd be the coolest thing in the world.
I don't know why you just made me think of this. And like my company would be mad at me saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was
love
really
it. Stepping out on the ledge.
well, like everyone was not excited. Lupe Fiasco is coming to Jacksonville, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Like I would for a tacos and tequila festival. So it's like Iration, Ballyhoo, like these not throwback necessarily, but like reggae artists. And then I think it's like Lupe Fiasco, Big Boy. Like I think like it's actually like a good haul.
I've seen Big Boy live, and I obviously I wish I'd seen Outkast as a full, but I'd seen Big Boy. He came to Hofstra way back in the day, and dude, he put on a great show because he's got a really underrated solo catalog too. Now, obviously, he plays all of Outkast records, which are great, but like Big Boy on his own, that first Big Boy album, Shutterbug, is a great song. That's still
my god, I forgot about that.
That beat still goes. You put that on, and you're driving around like, oh man, yeah, dude, it's great. But that whole album is really underrated too. His second one was good. Like he's put out like we don't need to go down that hole, but like Lupe is great too because Lupe's got a blend of like he's got mainstream songs that people know. Superstar, Show Goes On.
Skate was the Skate, was it Skate or was it called Push?
No, Kick Push. Yeah,
Kick Push. That's it. Yeah, that song was like one of my favorites in college because at least at Flagler down in St. Augustine, the thing to do was like you longboarded to class, right? Because it was like a 10-minute thing. So like, dude, I just remember listening to that, skateboarding down the street, going to school.
That album, Food and Liquor, Lupe's first album, is one of the first because I God bless my parents. They didn't try and it probably made it worse long term, but they actively just didn't want me to listen to hip hop because of the profanity. And it would have been like that. It wasn't a hip hop thing. It would have been like that with rock music. Like they wouldn't let me Biscuit, for example.
You really want to, so like, again, everyone can laugh. I was considered the Butters of our friend group.
No way.
I literally got grounded for everything. And I got grounded for listening to and having the Linkin Park Jay-Z album, the collab album.
Oh man. Oh, that's only 6 songs. They can put you on full grounding for that too.
Yeah.
It does start with profanity right away. Like I'm not gonna say it, but it's like, where's fucking Frappuccino?
Yeah, it started as me being like, look at this, Dad. Like 2 of the biggest artists right now are collabing. And my dad's like classic rock guy, like doesn't care at all. And he's like, all right, put it in. It's like dinner with the family. And so that song comes on and they're like, What do you think was going to happen here?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, but no, Food and Liquor by Lupe was one of the first like hip hop albums my parents just let me have. Like it was,
Nice.
look, I'm not gonna lie, I had to burn those CDs in secret. Like I had a couple, like I remember, I had the Black album, I had
Frostwire,
probably 2001, but like I had to like sneak those. I borrow them from somebody, burn them, and then. But either way, at Food and Liquor, I didn't have to hide. I had it. Like it was owned. It was open.
I had so this takes you back to the LimeWire days, because obviously that stuff wasn't always correct or right or legal. And I forget what it was.
Free.
It was an Usher song. It was like a sped up Usher song. I want to say the song was called "Nice and Slow." I think that's the name of it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But they put it. But I downloaded like a Pharrell album or something, and that song was on there. So until literal like college, I thought that song was Pharrell, because again, it was a sped up version, so it didn't sound like Usher.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh, damn! Like I got this whole thing wrong now." Like, but either way, that's a lot of non-basketball talk.
I like that though. We haven't had that in a while. Like that was good. You got to riff sometimes. It brings it back to like the old intros when we actually talk about hoops. But yeah, we do got to get into warm up jumpers, and we're gonna play Immaculate Grid again because
of course,
I'm way too much fun. So like, look, it's the summertime. We're not gonna do this the whole season, but like, how much is going on right now? Well, like we have stuff to talk about. But
so I had someone reach out to me after our last episode of the Immaculate Immaculate Grid, Crossover Grid, whatever. They're all the same.
Yeah.
And tell me about a new one. Now, this one isn't always basketball. It's called the Dozen Daily Trivia.
Okay.
Which is more Jeopardy-esque.
Oh, I saw that. Didn't Barstool make this?
It's a million times harder. I feel like an idiot playing this game, but I did see today's was an NBA question, so we could at least do the NBA question one of it.
All right. We'll hit the NBA question. I'm terrible at celebrity mashups. There's just no chance with me on any of those celebrity mashups.
Well, like look at this. Like who is that?
I actually think I know at least. I mean, it's Terrence Howard and somebody. I'm trying to figure out oh my god, wait, I might know this one.
Terrence Howard.
It's for sure Terrence Howard.
You want me to click Terrence Howard? By the way, there is a video version of this podcast. That's
his face.
Yeah, I know, but the body, like, dude, once it's not the actual person, I'm thrown off. Like, I have no idea. Do you think that could be Halle Berry?
I think it is. Yeah, actually, damn it, we're gonna get this one right. We're gonna talk about. I'm not hustling you. We're really bad at this. I do think it's Halle Berry.
Dude, what the hell? How did we just do that?
Right.
Okay. Either way, let's do the NBA one. Like we said, there is a video version of the podcast. We're going to do our best to explain the visuals of it for you in the podcast. So try to play along. The NBA question is, after a season with the Cavaliers, Shaquille O'Neal played the final season of his NBA career with this East team in 2010-2011.
Are you ready?
I am always ready.
Okay. Do you know the answer?
I actually think I just might have psyched myself out of the answer.
Okay. Well, what was your original guess that you psyched yourself out of?
I was going to say he went back. Did he go back to the Heat?
No, it's Boston.
It's Boston?
The big Shamrock. Yeah, it's Boston. Right after they won the title towards the end.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
He had a bunch of weird teams towards the end because he was after the Heat, he went to Phoenix. And then after Phoenix, he was that was the year with the Cavs because he was trying to, I remember the motto, he's like, I want to win a ring for the king. And then he ended up going to Boston, which was his last one. So
interesting. Well, either way,
the geography one real quick. I love geography. And then I promise we'll do grid. I'm not going to do this
wait, this is Florida.
Dude, well, that's easy. Yeah, that's super. Well, that's super easy for us. Good lord.
The question is: Jupiter, Vero Beach, Fort Pierce, and Winter Haven are all located in what U.S. state? And it's the one I'm in right now, Florida.
It is, and the one that I resided in for 9 seasons of this podcast, 9.5 seasons really of this podcast.
Should we just do the music one at this point?
Oh God, we're gonna do this whole game, aren't we? And just bail on grid. Never have.
Want to put my heart on? Oh, I should know this.
No.
Okay, what 2012 Bruno Mars song?
It's Grenade, dude. It's the first line of Grenade. It's the first album because Grenade is so cheesy. I love Bruno Mars, but it's brutal. It's so raw. Oh, okay. That's our sign to get out of it. Wait, is it not Grenade?
Maybe it was a different, did I click the wrong grenade by chance? Oh, come on. Did I click a wrong one? It is grenade. Or is that just saying the wrong answer that we guessed? It might just, I don't know.
I don't
All
know.
right,
Maybe it's
let's
the
move
wrong
on.
one. Whatever. Let's go to
I'm
NBA
over
grid
it.
real quick.
I'm over it. All right, yep, okay.
Maybe it's
Immaculate
just the way
grid,
you are. I don't know.
just the way you Kobe Bryant teammate and LeBron James teammate. Oh, wow. Okay, so for the crossover grid, we've got going across from the top left to right, we've got Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs, and then Kobe Bryant teammate.
Okay.
And then going down, we have Boston Celtics, Chicago Bulls, and then LeBron James teammate.
Okay. All right. I feel actually pretty good about this, like way better than I expected. And I'm going to go with the hard one first, right off the rip. For Kobe Bryant teammate and LeBron James teammate, Jordan Clarkson.
Was Clarkson with Kobe? Would he have only had that 1 year?
2015, 2016. He was there early.
Wow.
Yep.
Boom. Look at that.
He was on the Cavs for a little bit.
That was fast.
It's because Tim loved Jordan Clarkson that he'll always be stuck in my head. Like Tim had such a love for that guy early on when we were doing the podcast. And I mean, he's been in the league for a long time. Like he's definitely panned out to be a good NBA player. Okay.
So here we are. Now do we want to continue the teammate thing? Because I feel like those are the harder
rattle
ones.
a couple of these quick. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Chicago Bulls, you could put Pau.
Right here. Pau Gasol at 43%. That's a good one.
And for the Celtics, you could put let's see.
You just got to go back enough, right?
Yeah, you got to go back. So I'm trying to think of
oh man. It's probably like a
Shaq, dude. We just did this.
Oh,
it's Shaq. Yeah, wait a minute.
Wait, we just answered our own question.
Yeah. I'm like, we don't have to go back that far.
Yep, there you go, 70%. Oh wow, I'm surprised that Boston connection. I figured people wouldn't know as well, but all right.
So the Denver and LeBron teammate, I feel like I'm gonna come back, but I may use him somewhere else, so I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? I do have one that won't cross over. For Denver and LeBron teammate, do Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Wow, Pope. If I could spell it right. There we go. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
You got one? I feel like I'm hogging the ball right now. Dude, I don't want to do this for every single grid.
No, you're the one that's got to carry us on these things. I'm such like a slow trivia person. Like it's gonna take me a second. I
really like trivia. I played on academic team in high school. I watched Jeopardy. I am filled with useless trivia, but obviously that helps when you've done this as long as you have.
I get slightly overwhelmed by all the things that need to be answered that I can't focus on one. It's like an ADD thing. You know what I mean? Like I'll start thinking of Denver, Boston, and then I'll be like, wait, but San Antonio. And then, next thing you know, I've found a connection between Denver and San Antonio. And I'm like, oh, I don't need that.
So you could have done, I just realized you could have done Pau for Bulls Spurs too. But for Bulls Spurs, the more obvious one is DeMar DeRozan.
Bulls Spurs, DeMar, that's a good one.
Yeah, because I mean, all his post Toronto destinations.
Yep. Okay, so we still don't have the ones we're missing right now to update the podcast listener. LeBron James teammate in San Antonio Spurs connection, San Antonio Spurs and Boston connection, and then 2 for the Denver Nuggets, Celtics, Denver Nuggets, Chicago Bulls.
I'm really churning on LeBron and the Spurs, so I'm going to get to that. I think I have one for the Celtics and the Nuggets. Derek
White for Celtics.
Oh yeah, Celtics Spurs. Good call. Yeah, definitely. Good call, Justin.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's easy. No, that's a good one. I was going a different way. So yeah, Derek White's an easy one there. For Jeff Green was my Nuggets and Celtics. I'm pretty sure Jeff Green played for the Celtics. I'm like 90% positive.
He's played for like everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously he was on Denver last year. He won the title.
2 left. Chicago Bulls, Denver Nuggets, San Antonio, LeBron James teammate.
All right.
Oh boy.
Denver and Chicago. I mean, I'm trying to run through who they had this year.
Recently?
Yeah, I mean, I'm running mentally through the title team right now, but a lot of them are Denver homegrown guys, or they just weren't there. Like Aaron Gordon wasn't there, Bruce
Right.
Brown wasn't there.
Oh, I just feel like I have no idea other than like the main few that are on the Bulls the past few years. I feel like I have no idea who was on the Bulls in the past.
No, he never went there.
Bulls Nuggets. Bulls Nuggets. LeBron James' teammate in Spurs is also another one that's going to be like a sneaky weird name, right? Like Varejao never ended up over on the Spurs.
No. I mean, I'm trying to like run through the main guys. Obviously, like it's none of the big guys. It's not Tim Duncan. It's not Ginobili. It's not Kawhi. It's not
It's gonna be
David
like a more.
Robinson.
It's gonna be like a more recent one, probably.
No, yeah, it's not like a. Oh man, it's not like a Boris Diaw. It's not a.
No, I think it's gonna be like a Delhi type player. That was
No,
like
it's definitely going to be a Delhi type
yeah.
player. That's what I'm saying. I'm more just trying to think of who's played with LeBron. Like it's not like they had so many trades. Larry Nance wasn't there.
Mm.
None of the young guys were there. Like I'm even trying to think of some of the younger Lakers who may have been there recently. No Austin Reeves. No. Dwight Howard was never on the Spurs. Like LeBron's played with everybody. You'd think this would come back, and they played the Spurs so many times. So I'm even trying to think of like guys that were in those 2013 and 2014 series.
Mm. Jeez, it's got to be. I'm really leaning. I was leaning big man for the Denver Chicago Bulls connection, but I'm leaning shooting guard, point guard player for LeBron and Spurs, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I was running the bigs who've been on the Spurs because like LeBron never played with Zaza.
J.R. Smith never ended up with San Antonio for like a weird second, right?
No, JR was never there.
Oh, it's gonna be some shooter. It's gonna be some like sixth man or seventh man in the rotation shooter.
I'm trying to think of the Heat guys too. Like Mario Chalmers, I don't think was ever there.
Wait. Did Birdman ever end up in San Antonio?
I don't know. And that's the thing is there's like I don't think Shane Battier did. Ray Allen definitely didn't. Did Mo Williams?
Mo Williams. Wow. I don't think he did.
I just know he's played with LeBron a bunch.
Spurs, LeBron.
Maybe we could have probably used Jeff Green there. Did Jeff Green play there?
Where as with the Spurs? I feel like he probably did. He played everywhere.
For Denver and Chicago, I don't know why I can't get Mutombo out of my head, but I don't think that's right. I mean, he definitely played in Denver. I'm 100% about that.
But did he play for the Bulls?
Did Kenyon Martin ever played for the Bulls?
Kenyon Martin? Oh, I don't know.
Like Tyson Chandler didn't. Jalen Rose didn't. Like,
hold on. Big man. He was paired with Jokic. Went to Portland Trailblazers. What's his name?
Nurkic?
Did Nurkic end up with the Bulls at any point? Or did he stay with Trailblazers?
No, Nurkic has been with Portland since Denver.
Yeah, he hasn't left Denver, or he hasn't left Portland.
I don't know. We're reaching. We got to put up some shots though.
You want me to Google? You want me to Google some?
No, I mean if you want to Google some to just be done, I mean I'm gonna guess. Guess Mutombo for Denver and the Bulls.
Mutombo. How does he spell MU? Oh wait, I just MU. Oh, I just had it, right?
Yeah.
There he is. Nope.
Okay, damn.
You know who it is? I just saw it.
Jalen Rose played for Denver?
That's what they're saying.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Here, look. They did give us the picks. So we do have picks now.
Oh, they gave you the top picks. Oh, Danny Green.
Green. We were close.
Lakers.
We were close.
And he did play in the 2014 series too.
Wow.
Oh, that's brutal.
Did they? I didn't think you could use Shaq twice.
You can.
Or just top picks. Okay.
Yeah, these are just the top picks. So, Yeah, Pau Gasol, top pick. Derek White. Derek White was good. I don't know.
Nate
That should be one of the quick
Robinson.
ones.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. That makes
Okay.
sense. Damn.
Nate Robinson, by the way, was the Chicago Bulls Denver Nuggets connection, which is such an obvious one when you think of it hindsight wise.
Yeah, I mean, we
Damn
got
it.
the top answers pretty much everywhere else. Jeff Green. So to recap, we got Jeff Green for Denver and Celtics. We got Derek White for Spurs and Celtics. We got Shaq for Celtics and Kobe Bryant teammate. We got Pau Gasol for Bulls and Kobe teammate. We got DeMar DeRozan for Spurs and Bulls. We missed Denver and Bulls. We got Denver and or LeBron teammate is Kentavious Caldwell Pope. We missed Spurs and LeBron teammate, and we got Kobe and LeBron teammate as Jordan Clarkson. So
Man,
not bad. Couple of them pumped about. Yeah, that definitely the Danny Green one hurts more than the Nate Robinson one. That definitely should have got that one. But
yeah.
Oh well. Welcome everybody to the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. My name is Kevin Rayfuse. Joining me as always, my co-host Justin Kuzart.
I don't have a tweet. I'm just here. I'm just happy to be here.
Hey, we're happy you're here as always. Leave us a review on iTunes, good or bad. We'll read them on the podcast. If you're not an Apple user, Google Play Store, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, RIP Stitcher. So anywhere else other than Stitcher, you can find a podcast. You can find us. We got a burn on Stitcher early on. That's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, Stitcher was a vibe. You know, I always wonder which ones are gonna make it or not make it. And Stitcher seemed like one that had gotten itself cemented enough to continue going. But
yeah,
either way, here we are. And very exciting news: we are officially at 60 subscribers.
I love it.
On YouTube.
Hell
We're looking for 61. So if you want to be number 61, you can hit us up. Just search Drive and Dish NBA on YouTube. Like we said, for the grids, it's a very good visual, at least. Of us trying to figure that out. And I guess we should say the grid, the one we just completed, was for 7/29/23 because they do change daily. So don't worry if you're on a different day. We didn't just spoil any of it for you. You can check it out there. And again, subscribe to the YouTube.
And now a word from our sponsors.
So a memo was sent out to NBA teams today, and I guess more specifically to Damian Lillard, because
I mean, it's not just him. I guess it's the agents, it's the teams, it's everybody.
Aaron Goodwin. But I think it's I took it as more of a memo to try to drum up interest in Damian Lillard from other NBA teams not called the Miami Heat, because. I mean, Dame, it was, I like, even from a Sixers standpoint, wrote him off as if, well, he doesn't want to come here. He's not going to play. I really hope they don't go get him. And then we have a toxic situation, which is what it felt like it was getting to. So here we are. And the memo essentially is saying that if Dame and the agent say things like that again, there could be potential fines. They said they interviewed Goodwin and Lillard and spoke to several NBA teams, to which the agent also spoke to, confirming that Lillard would perform, if I can talk, the services called for under his player contract in any trade scenario, because it's worth noting the Blazers are in complete control of the situation. Dame's got 3 years remaining on his current contracts plus the player option. And doesn't have a no trade clause. So Portland can send him wherever, regardless of what Dame says, though it felt like Dame was trying to take a little bit of that control back by saying, if it's not Miami, I'm not messing around, essentially.
Yeah, you just can't publicly hold everyone hostage. And that's just what this has all come down to, because you've got 3 years left on your contract. Like you said, this is not a situation where there's an expiring contract and you have the flexibility this year. Like, I'm all about player empowerment, truly. But like, you can't have it both ways here. Like, Damian Lillard can't say, like, Portland should want to facilitate Dame, and Dame should give them the courtesy of trying to make their lives easier as well. But it's like, you have to understand that, look, you asked out kind of later than you should. Maybe Miami doesn't have the best offer. Like, you need to be open as well you need to at least pretend that you're open to other teams so that you don't naturally depress the market. You know what I mean? Like, you need to make Miami put their best offer on the table, because to this point, I just don't think they probably put their best offer on the table either. Like, it doesn't seem like any of these negotiations have been in good faith. It just seems like Miami is trying to more or less, pun fully intended, they're trying to godfather them and just be like, look, he wants to come here. We're getting who you're getting, where it's like, no, Miami, you may have to give up a little bit here too. Like, it's not going to be Bam or Jimmy, but it's probably going to cost everything else that you want.
Well, and it's funny because, Dame was always considered and is always considered the team guy. He was ride or die Portland, and now it's obviously over with Portland. And I think he'll still be beloved in the city, but the way that this is ending kind of puts a little bit of a black spot on it. Because it's like, wow, it really feels like you want out, that's fine, and you're going to get out, but you're making sure it's on your terms, and in a way, kind of screwing over the Trailblazers' ability to get a full package back for what you're worth.
Yes, 100%.
So I would imagine some fans are a little upset by that. I don't think that fully, like I said, I don't think that fully tarnishes his reputation there, but like, it does suck a little bit. And as a Portland Trailblazers fan, you should be like, come on, man. Like, it's the contract. You just got to, it is what it is now,
You're sick of the soap opera. That's the problem, is it's like Damian Lillard has had all the time in the world to ask out, and no one would have blamed him, including, I think, in Portland. Like, the window's been closed on this team. He's not going to win there. They're rebuilding. They're on to Scoot Henderson. Like, it's just that time has passed. But it is one of these things where it's like, Dame, you're the best player in franchise history. Like, you spent your career here. Like, we can facilitate a trade to Miami, but this didn't need to all be so public that says, hey, I'm only going to Miami. Because you are. Like, you're basically, you're pulling the pistol on Portland. And you're saying, yo, like, you can't get your full value back if they know that's the only place you want to go. Because I do think other teams think you're getting an unhappy player. Now, that can work out, I think, at times. It could temporarily work out. It's different because he's got 3 on his contract, but like, I think Kawhi Leonard, everyone knows, was very unhappy when he got to Toronto, and look how that turned out. They won a title. Everybody got what they wanted. With 3 years left, though, it's a little tougher. But I think if you trade him to a contender, though, like, I don't know, if Damian Lillard ends up in Boston, if Damian Lillard ends up in Milwaukee with Giannis, like, it's not the worst. And I don't think either of these situations are going to happen, but like, it is kind of weird that Damian Lillard's only dead set on Miami. It's like, yo, if they trade you to a contender, like, isn't this what you're trying to do? Play meaningful basketball?
Well, and on top of that, like, even from the Portland side, like, okay, sure, you've told us your only team you're going to is Miami. But if you're Miami, or if you're Portland, you can then, if that's not public knowledge, use that against Miami in a way to say, all right, you've offered us this, but, we got the 76ers over here who obviously really want Dame as well, and they're offering some kind of package with a third team that you're getting a haul of half of whatever Harden's worth, or most of whatever Harden's worth. It's like, so you've got to equal this. And then Miami's going to go, oh, damn, we got to get to the drawing board, figure this out. But now it's like, they do that, and then Miami goes, cool, Dame's already said he doesn't want to play in Philly. So Philly's, there's no way they're offering that, almost called a bluff in a way. But like, to that, I thought this, if Dame's situation was similar to Kawhi, say it's 2 years because the player option or whatever it ends up being with the potential trade down the line, would you sign up for 2 years of Dame in Philly if you knew it was only going to be 2 years?
Not if it costs Maxey.
Okay.
I don't think it maximizes the ceiling enough. I guess that's my point. Like, I think you're just kind of in the same problem that you have now, is that I like Dame a lot. Like, I think Dame would be a phenomenal player, but I just think what you're going to have to give up to get Dame is going to gut any chance you have of winning.
Now, what if it's okay, you get 2 years of Dame, and let's fast forward 3 years. One of those years you did win it all, but after that, the team is like so screwed. Like, no depth, no nothing. You're pretty much starting from square one. Not saying that's what the Raptors did, but look at where they are now. You kind of have that decline.
I would 100% do it. I would give doing anything for a guaranteed championship.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll
I
do
know it's not
anything. You
guaranteed,
can
but
put me back to 2013 and start the process over if I've got the
oh,
championship. Like all I
ooh,
want, I'm desperate to make a conference finals, let alone a championship. But transitioning a little bit, like you brought up James Harden because obviously he's the other trade
that
candidate
is.
out there. But there's been kind of an interesting argument on NBA Twitter, and we're gonna wrap up with this quick. Going around this weekend, and it started because of Jeff Teague, who's been doing a lot of media recently, and Jeff Teague's a really good media guy with how long he was in the NBA.
He's very entertaining.
Yeah, he's super entertaining. He's been in the league for a long time, and he's played with a lot of great players. So he's got he's got plenty of stories, and he wasn't a stiff himself. Like he had a great, one time. I think Teague was on an all-star team at one point in Atlanta. Like he won the title with Milwaukee. He's got like he's like Reddick in that sense where it's like, yeah, no, they were in a lot of locker rooms. Like they've got stories. They played meaningful basketball. So like you're extra intrigued in it as well. But the one kind of, debate that he brought up was he said that he would take James Harden all time over Dwyane Wade. And so I wanted to bring that up because I do think it is such an interesting conversation because my initial thought was,
whoa,
it's not as ridiculous as you think. It's that Harden is, Harden's longevity is probably better than Dwyane Wade's, but man, Dwyane Wade's peak was so high. And that's the thing is like, was Harden's there? But I also think because we're watching current Harden, it's like, let's not forget how good MVP Harden was. Just off the resumes, Harden's a 10-time All-Star, 3-time scoring champ, 7-time All-NBA, Sixth Man of the Year in 2011 and 2012, MVP in 2017 and 2018, a member of the 75th anniversary team, which of course Dwyane Wade was as well. Wade's resume, 3-time All-Defensive, 8-time All-NBA, scoring champ in 08-09, 13 times All-Star, 3-time champ, of course, all with Miami, finals MVP in 05 and 06. And I mean, that's the thing is like Wade's undoubtedly won more. And I think that's the thing is like he's got the championships, and 06 is such a natural boost to his resume because he was the main guy there. Like, even if you want to knock that, he was a member of the big three, but LeBron was the better player for the last two. Like Dwyane Wade was undeniably the guy, I should say, in 05, 06 against a really good Mavericks team.
Yeah, and that was a big part of Teague's argument is the players that both guys have played with. He alluded to Shaq, he alluded to LeBron, Chris Bosh, the big three. And I think what is going missed is Harden's also played with a lot of guys that are MVPs. I mean, Westbrook, Durant, just to name two, right off the rip. Joel Embiid, another one now. Like Harden's played with a lot of them as well and doesn't have any rings.
Yeah.
And doesn't have a finals MVP. He has, I know it's situational, but at the end of the day, those achievements, I think, are gonna put Wade higher in the argument until Harden either does it or ends his career. And if he doesn't, then I have a hard time putting him behind or him ahead of D Wade, where D Wade's got rings. He's got finals MVPs too. So it's not like those rings were all he was the second guy, like you were saying. Like, yes, the names he played with might be technically bigger, but at the time that they played, I mean, he won the finals MVP. So like he was the guy. So I have trouble doing it until Harden's career is over, obviously. And we'll see where he ends up. I mean, if the Sixers don't move him this year and they look great and they go and they win a finals and Harden's the finals MVP, I mean, that would be a lot of things going on. It would be a very wild turnaround. And I'd be happy. But then I think you can start saying, okay, now here's this, here's that, how healthy was Embiid during the year, where, that's when you can start comparing the finals MVPs to potentially, quote unquote, discredit Wade more if you're trying to make this argument.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at greatest shooting guards, like the top two is undeniable. It's MJ and Kobe. And then after that, to me, it probably is Wade and Harden. Like they're above like the George Gervins, the Clyde Drexlers, the Reggie Millers of the world.
A lot of D Wade's career too was in a lesser 3-point shooting era.
It was, and
is a big part of it too.
I think the big thing is that when Dwyane Wade turned 32 in 2013, he
Sure.
kind of started to go like he only averaged over 20 points one time then for a season the rest of his
Sure.
year. There were a lot of injuries. The seasons with Chicago and Cleveland were, kind of unforgettable. Like,
Sure.
he had the finale tour with Miami, which I think kind of helped and ended it on a good note. But
Right.
yeah, when Wade's athleticism went,
It was
it
done.
went, and it went quickly. Now, Dwyane Wade was undeniably a better defender than Harden. Like, I don't think anyone will
Defense,
argue
yeah.
that. Like, 3 all defensive teams. Harden has gotten better on defense than I think the general public gives him credit for. But like, be real. Like, James Harden's never been known for his defense. James Harden's highs were just so like his MVP year, he was averaging 36 points a game, like
I know.
on top of all those assists. Like, he was averaging almost 8 assists a game. Like, he really was the ultimate playmaker. And I think that's where you could argue is that his peaks were maybe as good as a season of a shooting guard has ever had. And his teams were very successful. Like, they were going to the conference finals. I know they didn't win the title, but they were extremely successful. The other argument is that he's still 33. He's averaging 21 points a game. He led the league in assists last year. Like, even when he's declining, there are still positive things. But no, you're right. I think I guess my greater point with this is that I think a lot of people like went to jump on Harden when it's like, no, this is probably a lot closer
It
of a
is.
comparison than anybody believes it is. Like, if someone said that they think to me James Harden is a better all-times player than Dwyane Wade, I don't agree, but I'm not going to go, oh, they don't know anything about basketball. Like, that's a pretty
No.
fair point. And Harden's peak is as good as an individual season as really anyone's ever had in this league.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is I look at Wade's career. Something I was thinking of is I mentioned it a second ago with the more 3-point shooting in just the NBA in general. You look at Wade. He really never took more than maybe like 2 a game average, where obviously James Harden is way higher than that. But it doesn't necessarily reflect on a effective field goal percentage. Like, Wade ended his career at 49%, 49.5. Harden right now is at a 52.6. He is down after his 32nd birthday, which is very interesting because you said 32nd for Wade as well. Is when Harden took that dip, obviously between Brooklyn and Philly, so maybe that's part of it. But yeah, like even the effectiveness of the shots still kind of favor Harden, even though he's taking quote unquote more from a further distance back.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, his 3-point percentage at a high last year. It's just Harden's flaws are glaring, and the
Yep.
playoff success hasn't been there, and
Yeah.
that's the one big
And
thing.
I think that right there is why you can't put him over Wade.
I agree.
Until the success happens, because here's like, you can be a great player. Oh, who was I listening to? It was yesterday. It was on the ESPN station we have here, and they were talking about something about choking in the playoffs. It was more in reference to a football team and their lack of ability to win. It was Josh Allen. They were talking about Josh Allen. And they're like, if you're an amazing player all season and you're phenomenal, and then you just come out in the playoffs and lay multiple duds, that's the definition of choking. That's the definition of it. You are good, amazing player, one of the top players in the league, and then when it becomes crunch time, you choke, or your performance is less than what you've done in other games. And I get that's kind of similar to what we've seen from Harden. And so until, again, it was one of those things, until he proves us wrong, that's where we have to be with it.
Yeah. No, I again, hard to argue with that at all. And Wade's peak to an 09, I think is it may not be as high as Harden's MVP year was, but like Dwyane Wade's 09 season is one of the best individual seasons a shooting guard's ever had. Like, I do think that's worth mentioning as well. But thank you everybody for listening to this episode of the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. We're going to try to do a mailbag episode, or mailbag segment, I should say, next episode. So if you got any questions, NBA, non-NBA, tweet Justin and I over the week. This episode's going to drop in a few days, but yeah, so we have really all week to kind of get these in. So tweet us, Facebook us on the page, whatever, and we will answer them on the next podcast. In the meantime, listen to the show anywhere you can find a podcast. You can find us
Sorry, just looking at, you mentioned 2009 being like his best year. You look at that, and then Harden's had at least points wise and assists wise, like 5 seasons that were.
Oh yeah, Harden's
It's
had way
like,
higher
damn,
scoring like rates. Like
and assists,
Harden's
and
highest,
assists.
yeah, Harden's score, like his points high in points for a year was like 36. I think Wade's was like 30.
Wade's
Where
was 30 in that year that you're talking about. 2008,
yeah,
2009 was 37 assists and 5 rebounds. And in 2017, 18, no, let's do the 36-point year. So 2018, 2019 in Houston, Harden was 36.1 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 6.5 rebounds. So like just more all around, except
yeah.
for assists. I think we're the same. So
Yeah, the
it's just
argument
wild.
for the argument you got to go for Wade too hard is the defensive end. Like I said, Wade was a significantly better defender, and
Yep.
that's where I think you argue
Some of
that
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 energy.
side does matter as well. But yeah, shout out to our YouTube subscribers. We
Yep.
just passed 60. Search the show Driving Dish NBA podcast on YouTube. Get those mailbag questions in. You can comment on the videos as well, and we'll gather those. And we will see you next time.